When it comes to channeling, Lance is just like, hey, look, there's grass.
You are listening to Just Roll With It. Jonathan is your lore master. Christine plays the channeler Amena Valare. Neil plays the Ogier Quercus son of Ilex. Aradia plays the channeler Pimur Dothorin Akel. And Fate plays the child of the light, Lance Akashi.
Okie dokie. So, Pimur is sitting there, and he's heard the name over and over and over again, and finally it clicks. Saine Terrasend, Masana.
I just die inside a little bit. Because, like, I mean, I know the story, but just... So, as the synapses connect and the glow bulbs brighten, and that I'm gonna turn saucered eyes to Amena because I'm gonna assume that she's the smart one. She would recognize this name also, and just like the eyes of like but I don't know what to say because it would be rude to point that out. I guess. I
think at this point we know each other well enough to know when we're like, dude.
Yeah, I'm like freaking out over here because, like, it's a hair.
Yeah.
Did you even notice whether she has the ageless face, or are you just so oblivious by this point because you're...
Yeah, does she have the ageless? She wouldn't, because she wouldn't have been bound by the oaths. Unless she was.
She looks like an older woman.
Yeah, does she have the ageless face? Does she have an ageless face?
You still gain the ageless face without the oath rod.
No, it's different.
Well, it slows your aging. You don't get the ageless Aes Sedai face. It just slows your aging.
Yeah, the Aiel wise ones, the kinswomen.
Yeah, the oath rod and the pressure it puts is what gives the Aes Sedai face.
Okay.
Right. So the Forsaken, because they were trapped, right? They didn't age the way that they would have normally had they just been out in the world channeling and doing evil.
Right.
So now that she's out in the world for, since the last age ended, she's aging the way that she would have as a channeler.
Unless they did bind her because she's fucking Masana before they let her out. So does she have like an oathified face?
She does not have an oathified face.
Okay.
That's what it's called from canon from now on. That's how I want you to ask. Hey, does she have the oathified face?
Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting there drinking tea served to me by a former Forsaken, and I don't know what to do with my life.
I just want to not make her mad. So let's maybe not bring up any more, questions about how long she's been there and where she's from and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. So what is our goal here then? We're trying to stay the night until can we, sir, can we shelter here until the storm is out, is blown itself out? Maybe we could, I don't know, me and the Ogier could help you with the boulder you were trying to move, something like that.
And Brekin kind of sits forward and his eyes narrow and he says, "You are more than welcome to stay. We have but just a couple of rules, but I would deeply appreciate your help with the boulder if that's something you're willing to do." Saine kind of pops up. She's looking. She goes, "Yes, you can't go in the storage room. It's just gross, and I wouldn't want to show it to visitors. It's just, yeah. So if you don't mind not going in the storage room, but feel it, there's fruit trees and there's little woodland animals, and it's just kind of a nice place to visit. So you can sleep under the stars if you want, or maybe we do have a guest house. You're more than welcome to stay there." But our one rule is, and Brekin kind of nods at her, yes, our one rule is you stay out of the storage room.
I'm going in that storage room.
I know, right?
I'm still finding a way to get in there and see what's going on.
Right.
But smile and nod. Of course.
No, never. We would never go in a messy storage room. Never.
We're D&D players, come on.
But yeah, it seems like manhandling a boulder might be a good way to keep me from blurting out inconvenient observations that have occurred to me.
An inconvenient truth, if you were.
Indeed. The Forsaken quantity in this room has gone up by 1,000%.
What you're looking at here is you got one of them Forsaken infestations.
Why are they still desiring to move this boulder by hand, given that there's a Forsaken there?
Maybe you should ask more tactfully.
You don't know that she's a Forsaken. Only we know that.
Yeah, you don't know that.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so Brekin says, if you're willing, we'll leave Saine to prepare something, if you don't mind, dear. And I could sure use help with the boulder.
Come on, Quercus. We can go do this. Your strength will be of use.
Okay. I'm, again, still looking suspiciously at Forsaken and her partner.
Wait, here. Loyal. Quercus would have recognized the name, probably.
Of course he would.
Right?
He's an ogre. He has some history knowledge.
Okay, so we can share the eyes of what the actual ever-living light forsaken Christ is happening.
Wow.
That went a lot of different directions.
Yeah, it did.
I'm trying really hard. It's not working.
So Brekin stands up and just sort of gestures you to the door. Please, after you.
Okay, I go out and see what's up with this boulder.
And he'll follow you out. He's quiet until you get out to the middle of the field, where the ox is kind of just sitting contemplatively munching on something. I recognize the eyes. You've heard the name before.
Did Quercus come out with me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna look at Quercus. I mean, he's a historian. He knows things.
Yes. I'm also still learning humans, so I would just say the name. Oh, yes, you mean one of the Forsaken.
We
How did you
don't
come to me
use that term here, first of all.
Which term would you prefer me to use, sir?
Second of all, many people could share the name. That's not an uncommon name. We are just two people who want to be left alone. So wanting to be left alone that if the night passes and no further questioning happens, and he kind of glances over and he points to the storage shed that's on the south end of the field that you are all standing in, you might find it worth your while.
Okay, understood.
Okay.
That name could have been shared by many people.
It could, and we won't go and investigate the shed, and certainly won't go looking for any domination bans or anything like that inside.
That's not what happened.
You absolutely don't have to tell us what happened.
I'm not going to tell you what happened.
Okay, we don't need to know. It's fine. Just really, it was just a storm. We just happened to find you by accident. This is a pure coincidence, I swear. We had no idea this place was here.
That's quite true.
I think we see eye to eye. And thank you. You can go back inside. I won't need your help. And he turns and he looks at the boulder, and you watch as his hands twitch, and the boulder erupts out of the ground, and he just kind of makes a pushing motion, and the boulder floats away and deposits itself at the edge of the ring of trees.
Remind us what
the... Sorry, go.
Yeah, what does this Brekin guy look like?
He is tall, he is dark-skinned, and he is older. He is clean-shaven with dark hair that sort of comes down to just below the jawline-ish.
So what's with the bull?
Tall, broad-shouldered, or not?
Fairly broad-shouldered.
Okay.
I'm just looking at the bull now, just like, why is this bull being forced to mess with a boulder? I'm confused. So I'm going to pat the bull on the nose and go back into the house. I'm perplexed, but the bull is clearly an innocent actor in this. So.
Right. Maybe don't choose the brown Arja after all. Here's a mystery.
Ouch!
No, I'll just forget it.
No,
Wow.
this is intrigue that you of all non-human people would understand.
Yes. So I'm still bemused about who this Brekin character is now. Whether he's someone we know from the books as well. Anyway, this is not in character, so...
Fair enough.
Okay, so I guess we go back inside and see what shenanigans Amena got up into in the 30 seconds it took us to get warned off from certain death.
I've just kind of been drinking my wine and, looking around and sort of trying to calm myself down a little bit because holy shit.
She's just chattering your ear off. She is like an old grandma, the neighborhood granny who knows everything about everybody. Mm-hmm. But she's like going off and like, and then the flowers this year, they didn't come up really like I would want them to. So we had to like find something. And did you know we tried to a different mixture of the bull manure? And like she's just like chattering, and it's just inane streams of chatter.
Yeah, and so as she's chattering, I get up and I just ask her, it looks like you've been working very hard. Is there anything that I can do to help?
Oh, I normally Brekin offers, and he takes such good care of me. But I don't know, dear. Would you like to muffins? That's what we're missing. I knew something was tickling me in the back of my head. Saine, it said, Saine, you are missing something with visitors. Muffins. That is what we need to do. So the rolling pin is over there. Let's make some muffins. What kind of muffins should we make? What do you and your friends like to eat?
Well, we love muffins. We love any kind of muffins. We love berry muffins. We love carrot muffins. We love cinnamon muffins.
Are you talking traditional, I was going to say English, Andorran muffins, or the other type of muffins?
The good type of muffins?
Yeah, that's kind of where my brain went to out of character. I'm like, wait, there's another kind of muffin? I know of the amazing muffins and I know of nothing else.
English muffins.
The ones that look like giant cupcakes?
Oh, duh, English muffin. That was a legit John failure. That was English muffins. Okay, right. That's a thing that exists.
It's a thing that most people eat on occasion.
I eat them every day, I was going to say, but I think we mean like the giant cupcakes.
I think, yes.
Which do not require a rolling pin. I'm just going to throw that out there.
I was wondering about that.
You know me.
I do, which is why I'm enjoying this so much.
She's got the right stuff for banana muffins. So you're going to get banana muffins.
Roll out the banana.
Yeah, looks like Masana's really in need of cutting corners with the baking. She could just do what Rand does in A Memory of Light, swirling all the ingredients together and then
cooking them in the air.
Yeah.
And then for a muffin tin.
Right.
So if we're going to make muffins, then we probably need a mixing bowl and a spoon and the ingredients. Where do you keep your dry goods?
And she'll point you to the pantry, because that's a place where dry goods go. I know that much.
Yeah, not the storage room? The pantry?
No.
The pantry. The pantry's in the house, and she will point you to the pantry and the dry goods. And as she's getting the ingredients together and such, she's muttering to herself kind of quietly. Why don't you go ahead and give me a perception check to see if you can hear what she's muttering?
17.
Okay, so she's busy making muffins. I assume this gesture is needed to make muffins. And she's kind of mumbling, and she's like half singing to herself. And then she kind of stops for a second, and then she's kind of going again. And you just hear names. She's talking like a list. You hear Elida Aroyhan, Randall Thor, Luz Theron. Dear, I seem to have misplaced the nutmeg. I believe this would work with some nutmeg. Would you mind checking the pantry again?
I wouldn't mind at all. And I sort of very quickly go and locate the nutmeg and zip right back to her side again.
Okay.
Very interested. I actually know some of these names.
And you're of a noble background. You're good at kind of figuring out people. It's not a split personality, but there's something where she's kind of fading in between, and parts of her seem to be poking out at sometimes, and then that part gets kind of shut down, and she becomes the kind of carefree grandmotherly type who's offering to bake you muffins.
This is very interesting and could also potentially be very dangerous, because I don't want to confront her and, make a focus that, she's flipping back and forth between these two different aspects of herself. So I'm just going to kind of let her go on with what she's doing, because I have no idea what would happen if I started questioning her about these people from the Third Age.
Okay, fair enough. At this point, you guys that were outside would be coming in, if that's what you chose to do after being warned off.
What's Lance doing?
I would be taking the time to make sure the horse is taken care of and because we know the storm's coming in, making sure that the wagon is prepped and everything for the weather, the storm. You know, they're off doing their thing, and so I'm getting everything else ready, because this is the task I was assigned. I'm soldiering on. If I really needed to, I would sleep underneath the wagon just to make sure it hits its destination.
Okay. So I come back in and eyes are still very wide, still very like, what? And I see Amena darting back into the kitchen with, it looks like nutmeg in her hands. And I'm just trying to give her the psychic eyes of like, no, for real though. And then I see that she has the same eyes and we're just having a big psychic freak out. Like, what do we do?
I don't know. Just like, let's maintain the status quo. Things moving smoothly so that they don't like kill us in our sleep.
Sleeping outside sounds great, right?
I'm gonna sleep inside, and also I'm really hungry, so I want some of these muffins. You're
You're making muffins with her?
Sure, yes. And you're gonna eat the muffins, and you're gonna like it.
How do you know she's not gonna do something to them?
Because I've been standing right here, and I put love in them. It'll be delicious.
Because we're the Blue Aja.
That's right.
I guess you are an okay cook.
Amena's a little proud of herself. Like, I did muffins. Like,
I did.
and
I
they're
had
not
eggs
burnt.
and everything, and I knew what nutmeg was.
Okay. I'm going to sit in my chair very gently.
A few moments later, Brekin comes back in and he draws himself a glass of water and he kind of drinks it down and he goes, "Dear, our new guests were quite helpful moving that stump. I should be able to have the new crops in by tomorrow, probably. Hopefully in time. We should be very thankful. They seem to understand the value of knowing their place." And she's like, "That is so wonderful. Thank you so much. We have been fighting with that boulder for like a week. That dang fool oxen just doesn't like to move, and it's such a pain. There's no one else really around, and it's been, thank you so much."
Happy to help.
Get the crops in time for what?
Do you ask that out loud?
Yeah.
"Oh, well, it's planting season for these beans, and if we were going to have them grow by the spring, then they need to be planted now. And I was afraid we were going to miss our window."
What season are we in right now?
It's like the equivalent of midway through. I think we're almost at the end of January.
It's a pretty reasonable time for beans.
I know nothing about farming. So I'm just going to take your word for it.
Yes.
But the food just magically appears on her plate whenever she...
Pretty much.
City girls. Rich city girls.
Hey, I pay handsomely for those beans. So
Yes, you do. And us rural, the proletariat appreciates it. Milady.
oh yeah. Wow.
Work harder, not smarter.
All
Okay.
right. So are we finishing baking up these muffins? While they're baking, I don't know. I'm wondering if I should offer to give her a makeover just to see if that will sort of build like a trust bond between two women, you know, like do her hair, maybe get her to.
I'm going to go check on Lance with the wagon.
Yes. At some point, I think all of us need to at least put our heads together and make sure we're on the same page about what's going on here.
How are we going to do that?
We should go check on Lance with the wagon. Make sure he's all settled.
Yes.
Oh, that's true. You know what? And I left some things in my bag in the wagon that I should probably go and get, like my hairbrush.
Yes,
So
precisely.
let's do that.
So we all gather circumspectly at the wagon.
And as you're leaving, Brekin makes eye contact with Pimur and with Quercus again and just kind of nods once and then goes back to helping Saine.
Okay, so we go out to the wagon.
Yeah, you're allowed to be out at the wagon. He didn't follow you or anything.
Okay.
Amena,
Yeah.
did you recognize the name? Seriously? It's
yeah.
her, isn't it? It's totally her. It's totally her.
It's totally her, and that's not all. So we're making these muffins, and she was singing and like doing this thing, and then all of a sudden she would flip, and then she would start listing off these names from the third age.
Do you remember them?
I do, actually, because everybody knows these names. She said Randolph Thor, and she said Luce Theron, and she said Elida. And then
Elida?
she went back to singing again, and then you guys came in.
Okay, so we saw something too. He can channel.
What?
Yeah, he just lifted the boulder out of the ground like it was no big deal and just threw it away.
Does he remind you of anyone?
No, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. Does he remind me of anyone?
That would be a history check.
Okay, I seriously doubt he reminds me of anybody, but
We should probably ask the Ogier that, studies.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I got an 11. I don't.
Nope, doesn't sound familiar.
All I know is that whatever that thing with the boulder and the bull was about, like, he just lifted it out of the ground and threw it away. And I didn't see what flows he used, so clearly he's a real male channeler. But he warned us that we should not say anything, and it might be worth our while. I'm not sure if he meant he would reward us or that he would not kill us. But
I think definitely the latter.
yeah, I'm worried it's the latter.
So what do we do? I can see you want to investigate that storage room.
I am really curious. Maybe that's where they put all the dead bodies. Maybe that's why their garden grows so good.
Oh! Wow.
That went dark really fast.
Yeah, no kidding.
Mary, quite contrary. How does your garden
I was
grow?
literally just thinking that.
With silver bells and corpses!
Buried maids all in a row.
I'm just saying, like, what is in the shed? What is this shed?
If you look on the roll 20, it is the shed right there
Okay. So I have the god's eye view through the roof, so I can tell there's nothing interesting in there.
that you know of. It's also just predetermined artwork.
Maybe that stuff's all stacked on the roof.
Okay, so yeah, guys, like, do we investigate the shed? Do we run away screaming? Do we just stay the night here? Because honestly, like, not getting rained on is pretty cool.
I don't think we can run away at this point. I mean, we wouldn't get very far before they could easily just take us down.
Yeah.
So I say we just try to find out what we can find out, and tomorrow morning leave as quietly as possible.
Okay, so investigating the shed right now.
It's overcast. Probably by the time all this has happened, it's probably about 4 p.m. So it's still a little bright.
Okay, maybe not right now.
Just saying.
And not with your channeling.
Yeah, no, I mean, they don't know that either of us can channel, much less that I channel the wrong power. So
Couldn't she feel you?
She would know that we can channel.
yeah, if she notices. I mean, she's a little, she might not have paid attention, and I don't make sense, so.
Oh,
I don't. I mean, she probably wouldn't notice because I don't make sense. So yeah, Lance, do you, I don't know, have an opinion?
I think that if they're gonna give us somewhere to sleep and somewhere to eat, we shouldn't poke the bear like we did last time.
literally.
Aw. Yeah, that's a good point.
So you intend on sleeping inside there?
That's not what I said. I said if we're going to sleep here.
Okay.
Because there's no storm here, and I really don't want to sleep on the ground in a storm next to Amena's snoring.
No. Okay, so we sleep outside.
I beg your pardon. I do not snore.
Yes, you do.
I'm sorry, you're according to roll 20, you're way away from me. You can't eavesdrop in on this.
It's a role-playing moment.
Also, I can confirm Amena totally snores.
See?
We're bunkmates.
We've been on the road for like 5 days now.
Fine, but it's adorable when I do it.
I mean, you're not wrong. Except when I'm trying to sleep, then it's a little annoying.
Yeah. Well.
The real question is does the Ogier snore?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I think we established this.
That's why
Frank
we're
Train.
all so grumpy. Okay. No rest for the wicked.
Yeah.
Did we ask Quercus if the guy seems familiar?
No. I will. So this is. Did you say this was an Arcana check?
This is a history check.
History check.
Yeah.
Oh, 4. Very familiar.
Nope, not at all.
Natural scientists avoiding social sciences again.
At least he's on brand.
Okay, so I guess we're going to go inside and eat banana muffins like they weren't made from the hands of evil.
Wow.
But Amena made them, and she's not that evil. She's actually pretty nice.
I'm not evil.
So
That's what I just said.
So inside the house, is there any like interesting decorations or books, architecture, anything unique?
Roll me an investigation check.
12.
So there's a small bookshelf which you can kind of see right there on the sort of eastern wall. The copies of the books there appear to be all older copies, but they're still in decent condition. Nothing else really seems to strike a chord. It looks like a well-to-do farmer's house. It's pretty what you would consider standard. It's better than the stuff you had growing up. It just seems to be more well upkept or whatever, but it's by no means flashy or weird. They don't seem to have any kind of crazy technology or anything.
Okay, and then, like, what would we have learned about Masana from our studies in the tower? Like, what would our baseline knowledge about, like, what happened with her be?
The baseline knowledge from the tower would have been she was obviously one of the Forsaken. She was hiding in the tower when everything went down at the end of the Third Age. The official line is she's dead.
So the whole, like, brain dead thing that happened with Egwene from Telerenrio, that wasn't common knowledge?
No.
Okay.
That is definitely, we can discuss that as players and as out of character outside the universe, but that is absolutely something that the tower would have put a gag order on, because they don't want anybody to know that they have a brain dead Forsaken.
Okay, so we know that she was in the tower and then she died.
Allegedly dead, yes.
But we know the name she was under, and I assume we would have known what she looked like, because descriptions of the Forsaken are a thing. Mm-hmm. So this makes, like, even less sense to Pimur than it is making to Aradia. Because she's supposed to be dead.
And the woman, Saine, in front of you doesn't look like the descriptions of Masana from the books.
Okay, so only the name matches, and the sheer quantity of power does match. I mean,
yes.
The scale of power says a lot. So there's a lot of reasons to be very in doubt about...
There are some things that match. There are some things that don't.
Okay. That's really weird. And she's just this nice old lady that we could, like, bullshit about gardening with.
Yeah, she's totally willing to talk gardening. She's totally willing to talk
the weher and all that basic stuff.
Yeah.
I just, like, I want to ask her questions, but, like, what questions are a good idea? And also, there's this bodyguard of a male channeler standing there glaring at me. So,
is it reasonable to assume that Masana would, if she left the tower, if she had somehow been released, wasn't executed, that she would want a quiet life like this? Do you believe this?
I just don't, like, know what to do with all this information.
I know. I'm kind of proud of this one.
We've said it once, we'll say it again. Fuck you, Lore Master.
Hey now.
I'm just trying to rack my brains to think who the male channel could be. It's the interesting one.
He's probably some... I don't know.
Well, if Loghain is still the head of the Black Tower, then we're left with some of the more powerful male channelers that were on his side of the argument, because everyone I can remember on Time's side of the argument was either killed or sent to that steading with Alviarin.
Right. But I mean...
We can see you. Can you say something?
Yeah, sorry. I don't know what happened. I probably need to restart my computer, but I don't want to mess up the recording. So, like, half of the video was blank, and then my Discord went totally blank. So,
oh dear.
It's all good.
Should we stop recording then so she can reboot?
No, I think it'll be okay. I mean, I just can't see myself. I can see you guys, but my own video is green for some reason. So, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. It's been storming pretty bad here. We've had, like, a huge snowstorm, so I don't know if maybe that's part of what's going on. It's affecting my internet.
It's fully possible.
Yeah, because everything else, Reaper is still going. Everything else seems to be working. But, like, now, see, right now you're black, Jonathan. It's just all, like, black screen.
Weird.
Yeah. So, anyway, sorry. What did I miss?
Random
More hair pulling out and giggles from my corner of the internet.
Yeah. Just being confused and frustrated by the enigma. Oh, I was asking what our baseline knowledge would have been coming out of the tower. Just like what was the tower's official line. And the tower's line is that she died after being in the tower. So we don't know any of that brain dead, mind snapping and the dream stuff that we know as readers. We only know that she was hiding in the tower and then was dead. That's the official line.
Oh, so somehow she got smuggled out.
Somehow she got not dead.
Well, and the other thing, I don't remember if you were connected for it or not. I said she doesn't look like she's described in the books. She has what would probably be the statement. Once you get to that amount of power, it's like the differentials are barely non-existent anyway. And she's answering to the name, and she's incredibly powerful, but she doesn't look the way she was described as. So there's evidence for and there's evidence against.
So could she have done like a body switcheroo?
Wasn't that only the dark one that was capable of it?
I haven't studied as hard as you have.
If she is that powerful, couldn't she just be using a mask of mirrors to alter her appearance?
Probably. I mean, are we seeing anything like that?
Well, you couldn't tell, could you?
Unless he's the one doing it.
Yeah, that's true.
But she seems to be going about living currently, aside whatever's in the storage room, and we obviously don't know what exciting goodies are in there, but she's just living like a regular person, and Masana was supposed to be quite down to earth and practical and no nonsense, getting on with things sort of person when she was in the age of legends. So it just this life that she has now seems quite consistent with what we were supposed to know of her personality. That's all. But clearly there is something in the storage room. There's this big red button, do not press or do not enter, virtually marked on the door.
Yeah, I mean, I almost wonder if she's reverted to the personality that she had before she became a Forsaken, before whatever it was that made her into an evil person.
I mean, what else do you do if you commit yourself to the Dark One? You're the enemy, public enemy number one, and then your only line of salvation gets walled up in his prison again.
This is very perplexing. I'm going to eat my muffins very slowly as I think about all of this. They're sure like mostly just shredding the muffin rather than actually eating it because I'm just thinking too hard. But I am eating it because
warm
cold.
Muffins.
Muffins.
This notable warm muffin fresh out of the oven.
Seriously,
Right.
and banana muffins at that? Ugh.
Forget it.
Right.
Some butter.
I would kill somebody for a banana muffin.
I mean, stop. The butter like all melty and like.
Doesn't that depend on whether your recipe uses butter, though? Because lots of muffin recipes use oil.
No, dude, I'm slathering butter on it. Like I
Oh.
broke this bad boy up and I'm slathering everywhere.
And they're presumably
Trying
like
to be
really
very-
good.
I shove it into my
It's
face.
the country crock commercial where it's just the hands, it's a little spread.
And I'm dying right now because for Lent, I gave up eating anything after 9 o'clock.
Oh
Now
no.
I so want a muffins.
Well, I mean, just go backwards one time zone. Go to Hawaii and it's 8:30.
Yeah. Good to go.
Oh,
Perfect.
done.
And it's Hawaii.
Let's like teleport there.
If it's
Well,
5
I mean,
o'clock
you know
somewhere,
how to gateway, right?
if it's 5 o'clock
Of course I
somewhere
do.
for the drinkers, it's before 9 o'clock somewhere for the eaters.
I like the way you think.
Why aren't you two politicians? It all seems so easy.
No. Character flaw that some people may not know about me. I am a terrible enabler. I will enable anybody, anytime, all the time. So
I
Don't
think we
come
know
to-
that.
yeah, don't come to me with your I can't do these things because I'll be like, thanks.
And I don't think we want the chaotic evil one in charge.
Yeah, I can't play D&D every day. Oh no.
He would give me as much peanut butter as I wanted, which is a lot.
And oatmeal. Oh, peanut
Yes.
butter and oatmeal together.
Yeah, I do that regularly.
Oh, like that oatmeal that we had at SpoilerCon.
I don't remember having the oatmeal at SpoilerCon.
Oh, it was. We traded because I couldn't eat all of it, so you
Oh,
gave
of
me the rest
course.
of
Yes. In the end, yeah.
it. So good.
yeah.
Anyways, sorry.
Is it time to break into a shed yet?
I'm hungry.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Uh,
Yeah. So how are we going to get into that storage room?
I thought you were still of the persuasion that we should find out what we can and then just intelligence gather rather than do anything too overt.
I say we do both. Divide and conquer.
I vote that you put on whichever pair of fancy dress shoes you bought is the most robust and then kick the door down.
That's for Jess.
No, I'm not doing that because that would hurt my feet. But I could use a flow of air and maybe pick the lock.
Okay, but are we gonna like go to bed ostensibly?
Yeah, but you know what else I could do, you guys? You know what else I could do?
What?
Because I've been practicing my flows of air, I can completely deafen both of them while they're sleeping. So they will have no idea. Unless there's some kind of like ward or something on the shed. They wouldn't hear anything we do.
We're all talking together, right?
Yes.
I wasn't there something about like male channelers and knowing when females were channeling.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Pimur! Pimur, how would this work for you?
I mean, I channeled like a woman, so I see glow around women channelers, but there's nothing to go with male channelers.
Do all male channelers sense when a woman is channeling, though?
Yes.
I thought it was only Rand.
No.
That's all of them.
It's all of them.
not.
They get the like goosebumps
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we see it in the Black Tower when the Reds come in,
And we see the Eyes to Die bitching about how it's not fair that they don't have a similar thing for men.
and that's why Nynaeve and Egwene are trying to get that weave from Mogideon, and so she gives them the one that gives them the headache.
I forgot about that.
But they do get one, and they take it to the Saladar Tower, don't they?
Someone else comes up with it.
Yeah, there's weaves for just seeing where sighting's been used, but not for detecting a man embracing.
Correct, because there was the one, like they wrapped the one dude and they could see like the Saidar moving as he was channeling Saidin.
Right, but it has to be an active process rather than a passive.
Yeah.
Like what? Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying no, I should not use the airflows to death.
Yes.
I was asking a question.
Oh.
Yeah, I think maybe don't, because he will totally feel it even if she doesn't.
Even if they're sleeping?
Well, I mean, depends on whether or not he's been water bonded, because that would give him the extra spidey senses, and if he hasn't been, then he'd just be a normal man.
Just thinking about this logically, you two are both extremely talented with the one power and very deft in your use of it. But shouldn't we assume that one powerful male channeler and a Forsaken have probably set up something fairly sophisticated that maybe is a little bit beyond your use of the power, deft as it is?
That's an unfortunately good point.
I mean, that's a really good point, actually. Unless they become complacent because they've been there sheltered for a really long time.
Possible.
But what time is it by now?
If you're talking and you're just kind of waiting outside, I'd say it's probably been an hour. So say it's like 5:30.
So can you kind of like look at the shed and just see like, are there flows of Saidar around it at all?
That is going to be an Arcana check.
Okay.
You better roll good, dude.
15?
Oh, wow. Look at that face.
Kind of do this bit, and you do detect, I mean, first of all, the big dome, right? Like, you do that, and it's like you're almost, your radar is almost blinded by just how much power is being pumped out. And there are traces of Saidar kind of all over the place. Nothing specific on the storage shed, however.
Okay. In any of these traceries of power that I can see the signature difference in pattern that is interwoven sighting?
You cannot.
Okay, so I can see that it's all Saidar. There's none of those weird jagged gaps that would represent sighting.
There aren't any jagged gaps that would represent dual channeling.
Okay, fair. All right.
That's a very Aes Sedai answer.
Yeah.
I'm surrounded by very good teachers usually.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. So nothing on the shed, but everything's powered, and who knows what he's set up, because we do not have a male channeler among us. We don't have a Saidin channeler among us.
Unfortunately, we don't.
So there's no way to know if he has... I would bet he has wards set up, though. He was very determined that we not ask questions about that shed or about anything, so he probably totally has wards set up on it. But I did recently figure out how to make myself invisible. So if we get him to go on a wild goose chase, maybe we could figure out what's in there.
Invisible.
Yeah. Bending light. It's a thing.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, invisibility is totally a spell.
That's awesome.
Weave.
Yeah. Weave. Yes. Yes, it is. I have figured out how to weave light around myself so that I completely vanish.
Oh, dude, will you teach me how to do that at some point?
Totally. I mean, not that you ever want to not be in the center of attention, but if you ever did want to slip away from, an awkward date with a strange child of the light that couldn't dance for shit.
I'm just saying it could be very useful.
Amena's ghosting game just got leveled up.
Like epic level. All right, so are we just gonna go to bed, try to gain their trust? I mean, what's the deal?
I think so. Yeah. Wait for the storm to go away.
Well, I've got everything set up, so whatever you guys want to do, we're ready. Bed, playing, killing, searching.
Getting killed.
No, I meant hunting.
Oh,
Jeez.
Amena, can you feel how strong the storm is, whether it's likely to last until tomorrow. Are we likely to be able to leave tomorrow?
Do I have a weather sense?
Roll me an Arcana check. You're not trained in it, but you might be able to figure something out.
Maybe I can listen to the wind. 6.
Nope. You got
I'm
nothing.
sensing that there is weather. That is all that I'm sensing.
Sure. I don't know. Can we investigate the fountain? The water feature? I don't know.
It's a well, but sure, absolutely.
Okay, can I go, I don't know, investigate the well?
Roll me an investigation check.
Okay. I'm just flailing here.
Like grasping. Like anything non-lethal that we can do.
20. Is there anything interesting in the well?
It's about the wall's about 2 feet high. It's a full well. It's got water at the bottom.
Well.
A 20 got that.
It's a well.
There's nothing in the well.
Nothing.
I'm just investigating random
And then I push Pimur. Oh, look, there's something in the well.
Oh, thanks. That's great. The thing is that I'm so tall that I just plank across it and don't actually go into the well. Ow.
I'm just kidding. I didn't actually push you.
As a tall person, I want you to know that's not as easy as it sounds.
No, that's not how it happens ever.
I don't know. Maybe it's a really narrow well. But you didn't push me, so it doesn't matter that it's not real.
No, I was just in my mind. I was. So, Quercus,
I felt it.
we desire your input.
I'm thinking about our options. We can sleep, and then if the weather improves, we can leave and eventually get back to Kira, Sadai, and report this. We can try and investigate and risk even getting caught. We could wait, and then if the weather allows it, we could wait in the trees and try and waste another day here and try and spy on them and see what happens, see how frequently they go into and out of the storage room. We could leave, continue on our journey, and I could ask Calocedrus to use his eagle eyesight and spot what happens for the next couple of days, whether they're coming into and out of the storage area. That wouldn't tell us what they're doing inside. Those are the options I see. I'm
gonna look over at Quercus. We were headed to a campsite that you had found.
Yes.
Was this, we were following your path. Was this here before?
I had no reason to come this direction. We need to go another mile up the road and then turn off, and it would be, I can't remember which side of the road I said it was on. Anyway, about a mile further up the road.
Oh, okay. And then I'm going to walk back to the cart until I'm told that we're doing something else.
So, Quercus, are these trees different in any way?
No, not that I can see. No. This is the same vegetation that we've been passing through for the last day or so.
I wonder where they get their food from.
Yeah.
There's a vegetable patch outside.
I mean, they're, sugar and flour and stuff like that. He must go to town, but what town? I mean, there aren't any towns near here, and he probably doesn't leave her alone very often. Someone must be bringing them food. Someone in the tower must know.
There's gateways, though, right? Isn't that common practice?
Oh, yeah, of course. Right.
Right. And plenty of people do live that far away from towns, even in the Wheel of Time world, and they survive on big sacks of flour and things that they do get irregularly.
And by now in the Fourth Age, we're not necessarily concerned that it's a male channeler. We're concerned that it's a male channeler with Masana, correct?
Right, and the mechanics of the fact that we can't tell if he's channeling, and he would know if we're channeling, just the practical considerations of a channeler. Not.
Well, I was just meaning it's become accepted in society. It's not the taboo that it was before.
There isn't a stigma attached to a male channeler anymore.
No, it's that there's a Forsaken there that's the concern.
There's still a stigma attached to being Forsaken.
Not sure that's going away anytime soon.
No, it's a liberal society. Look at Pimur.
Maybe in another age or two.
Would your eagle be able to peck through the roof and sort of peek in?
Also, how intelligent is this eagle?
Your eagle has become a woodpecker.
It obeys my commands, apparently. I can verbally command the beast where to move.
But he can't talk back.
Not that I'm aware of. I can command it to attack, to dash, to disengage, to dodge, or help. The 5e book doesn't say whether it pecks through roofs or not.
Help There's a lot of wiggle room within help.
There is.
I'm just saying.
Yes.
So if he could like use his talons and pull back the roof or like scrape at it or whatever.
You don't think that might draw just as much attention as if I were to climb up on top of it and put my feet?
Birds do weird things, so maybe it's just some random bird. The bird can't channel.
Amena, I have a feeling
Neil.
I have a feeling that the Forsaken or her husband might notice if a golden eagle was sitting on top of their roof and pecking at it and disappearing inside.
I mean, that's fair. Okay.
How did we?
We're thinking laterally.
Okay, so bedding down outside.
Are we this set on going in the thing? Because I'll just go in.
I'm not convinced that this is the best long-term strategy.
And I'm with you, Quercus. So what about you two channelers?
I mean,
So you're not sold on it either. So it's only Amena or Amena. Okay, we're not doing it. Got it.
I mean, I mostly don't want to die, so I'm fine with not doing it.
You
but I
mostly
really want to
don't
live
want
in
to
there.
die.
Then can we go to bed?
It's only 5:00, right?
I'm a soldier. We go to bed anytime there's downtime.
Preach.
I mean, I can't think of what else we can do or
I can't
look at.
either, honestly.
Maybe one of us should keep a watch though, just in case this is some yeah.
All right. I'll take first watch. I'm gonna go knock on the door and ask if we can start a fire out here so we can cook and let them have their stuff because we don't want to impose.
Okay, and so you go and you knock on the door, and Brekin answers. He's put on a shirt by this point,
Oh, thank God, I'm not intimidated anymore.
and he says, "Are you sure? You're more than welcome to stay inside, but please, just keep it contained. Don't I don't want the farm burning down from any uncontrolled fires, but you're more than welcome to stay outside if you wish."
I think because with my friend Ogier and my other party members, not sure what I'd actually call them, because anyway, that's beside the point. I just we don't want to take up much of your room. I know how much the Ogier and myself can eat, so we're just we appreciate it. If the storm gets too bad, we might, hunker down underneath your awning, but I think we're more comfortable being outside.
There's no danger from the storm here. You'll be fine. I hope you'll join us for breakfast in the morning. And he's eyeing you up and down like he's not sure, but he's taking as, face value.
Oh, as far as I know, we'll be more than welcome to join you for breakfast. Do you have bacon?
There will be bacon.
Then we're staying for breakfast. I don't care what those guys say.
Sounds like a plan.
Have a good night.
You as well.
So
That was
polite.
cordial.
I just...
Let's say goodnight to the Forsaken's husband. Are you going to tuck him into bed as well?
What else am I supposed to do? Go jump off a cliff?
I don't know, but the lore master is suspiciously silent through all of this, and it has me just a little bit worried.
I'm not influencing you at all.
But it's I'm trying to remove the stigma from the Children of the Light, which means we have to be nice to channelers. So saying goodnight isn't out of the norm, guys.
No, it's and this guy could kill us, so be polite.
Yeah.
Please. Politeness is good.
Politeness is good.
So yeah, we'll do that and sit around the fire, talking ourselves in circles, I guess, until it's time for first watch.
And I'll mention that he's gonna make us bacon with breakfast in the morning, because I know Pimur wanted bacon, and I won that last exchange, and I want to keep on the winning streak.
Bacon? I'm all about bacon.
Bacon and oatmeal.
No.
Yes.
Bacon and hash browns.
Oh, hash browns are acceptable.
Fried potatoes. See, we'll make a convert of you yet.
But that's not deep fried potatoes.
No, there's a big difference.
If you say so.
I know so. I worked in the kitchen.
Okay, so who's doing first watch?
Unless we want me to do middle watch.
I'll take second watch. It's fine.
Okay. I got first watch.
Okay, I'll take third watch.
And I'll sleep all night.
You do need your beauty sleep.
You do. carrying all those shoes.
It's the only way to. Never mind. And I'm just gonna like turn around and start poking at the fire.
Okay, so roll me a perception check.
8.
Okay. Your watch seems to pass uneventfully. No one comes from the house. No one... There's nothing. You don't even hear the storm anymore, and you're not sure if it's because of where you are or if the storm has actually passed.
Can I do worse than my passive? Because my passive is 14. Does that help at all?
I mean, we can use your passive because it's higher, and same result.
Dang, okay.
Still quiet.
So if nothing's going on, time goes by, fast forward to second watch, I'm going to go over and knowing how Pimur wakes up, I'm going to like tap her boot or his boot with my sword. Just tink, tink, tink. Hey, it's time to wake up.
I'm going to actually wake up easily this time because I'm a little on edge. Like, anything? Oh, it's just you. Okay. Nothing happened?
Okay. No, it's been quiet except I thought we were supposed to have a storm and I got everything ready for... I did so much work. I'm going to bed.
You do that. So with my perception check, I'm extra wanting to pay attention to how the channeling has changed or not changed. And I got an 18.
Okay, so roll me an Arcana check.
Okay.
If you're looking for the channeling specifically.
18 for Arcana as well.
Okay, so it seems to stay constant. Nothing happens visually, and you don't detect any more shifting of the flows.
And does it like mellow down because she like goes to bed or like no?
The pure aura that comes from the house seems to dim a little bit, but the dome doesn't change.
Okay, that's interesting because normally you have to like let go of the source to sleep unless you're channeling spirit to dream. So that's interesting.
Standing flows.
I mean, are standing flows a thing in the fourth age?
She was from the second age.
Yeah, but can one woman make standing flows? I don't know. Don't know much about how standing flows came into existence.
Don't think there's anything on it.
Okay, and your watch passes uneventfully.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go over and wake up Quercus. Night seems quiet, but it's your turn to watch. Good night.
Good night, Pimur. I'll just...
So it's okay to say goodnight to Pimur, but it's not okay for me to say goodnight to this other dude?
I'm fine with it. You're being very polite.
Quercus, are you keeping the fire going? Or did you let it die?
I don't need the fire myself. My eyes are good, and it's not that cold outside, so I'm fine.
Okay. About an hour and a half into your watch, the door to the house opens, and Brekin comes out. And he kind of just nonchalantly strolls in your direction. Do you mind if I sit?
Not at all. There's only me awake, but by all means.
Thank you. And he kind of sits down, and he's looking at the fire even though it's died down, and it's just basically the embers. And he says, I assume they had questions.
We all do. We've chosen to respect your privacy.
So don't take this lightly. My name is Bryn. Saine is not her real name.
What is her real name, if you don't mind me asking?
Her name was Salil, actually. We lived together in Tarvalon. We were under orders.
Go on.
Now, you have to understand, there was a lot going on at the time. The Great Lord had instructed the Chosen to be about their business. Our orders were to sit and wait. We were an escape plan. We thought it meant physically getting her out of the tower, but something went wrong. The plan of, I guess, I've pieced it together, I've had some time. Masana was supposed to inhabit her body as a sort of second soul or second consciousness. It was designed so that she could escape easily if she was ever caught. And then something happened. I don't know what, but only part of her came through. All she remembers is her name from before. And every so often, little bits come through. Most of this, and he kind of points around, she doesn't even know she's doing it.
She can't remember the weaves she was taught. She can't remember living in the Age of Legends.
She remembers a bit. Don't get her started on not getting tenure at the Call and Dan.
Was Salil able to channel, or is this all,
She was.
but not this strongly?
No. My job was merely to watch and to guard. I also have some ability, but not as much as she does.
And you're,
I am not one of the chosen. I'm assuming that was a question.
yes.
No.
Are you bonded to her, and she to you?
Not in the way you think. Just by matter of circumstance.
What is your intent?
To live out our lives. She doesn't remember who she is. She keeps up this charade. She's going to live a very long time, as am I.
And why the secrecy with, and I look off towards the storage room.
Well, if you keep your promise, you'll find out in the morning.
Interesting. We meant you no harm, but you can understand our natural thought processes once we recognized who you were.
I understand.
Who we thought you were.
You've been very polite, which is better than I can say for some others.
I am no philosopher, I am a botanist, but even I can see the moral quagmire in terms of piecing together Salil's past versus what she has become. Have you two both renounced your previous allegiances?
He's dead. What does it matter?
Dead is not the word I would use. As I understand my readings of history, he is sealed away.
Well, regardless, we don't answer to him anymore.
Okay, that is all that matters. Thank you for coming to explain this to me.
It's been a very long time since I've had someone to talk to about this. And he kind of stretches as he stands up. But there's only one unfortunate thing about this entire affair.
What is that?
I need Quercus to roll a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Bad things are about to happen.
Sorry.
They can't let us leave. Fuck. Nin's cheering for you in Discord.
I think I need all the cheering I can get. This sounds like my mind is going to be melted.
Till we get your mind.
Banana muffin.
But that's that extra something.
The Quercus is mine.
Melted brain.
9.
Oh, fuck.
And as he stands up, he says, "You're not going to remember any of this." And he waves his hand, and you tell him good night as you had a wonderful 20-minute conversation about various trees and shrubs in the clearing. And
Dude.
So evil.
You're a bastard. So we don't get. Oh. Why couldn't you have rolled better? You have a mind like a steel trap or whatever.
I'm sorry. Okay, this is going to be really difficult not to drop in. Right, I'm looking around at the trees when someone comes to. When I feel the dawn breaking over the horizon, I'm still merrily listening to the songs of the birds waking up and seeing the morning dew on the grass outside, that sort of thing.
Is it possible that one of us were like only half awake or half asleep and overheard some of this conversation?
nope,
Why not?
because it's better this way.
Come on.
They were really good muffins.
They were.
They had some of that Two
Little
Rivers.
too much.
You know?
To back it up.
Yeah.
So dawn breaks, and both Saine and Brekin come out to greet you. She hands you a wooden tray of, like a bag of muffins and other sundries. And she goes, "Thank you so much for staying. It was so much fun. Amena, you were great in the kitchen. It was so nice to have people, and so great. So great. Just so great." And she's like, "So great," and like repeating it and kind of rubbing her hands together. And Brekin again puts his hand on her back and says, "Thanks, dear. I will walk them out." And she goes, "Okay, thank you. Goodbye. And she goes back in the house, and he turns and looks at all of you. "You honored your promise. It's time for me to honor mine. Come with me." And he'll walk over to the storage shed, and you watch as he makes motions with his hands. You don't see anything change, but he doesn't approach until he finishes making the motions.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Saved you.
Yeah. Way to rein in the lack of impulse control.
And then he opens the door. You see various things. You see bucklers and short spears. you see a giant maul and a glaive, a large round globe of clear crystal of some kind, a smaller one sitting in the corner. There's a long sword kind of perched up in the corner, and there seems to be coins just scattered around haphazardly. There's what appears to be a cloak folded and set down on top of everything else. And there's a circlet with a diadem in the middle, and what appear to be some sort of spectacles or something. And there's a long rifle, a musket, also stacked up against the wall. You can each pick one item, and then you're going to leave.
Ooh.
That's what I'm picking.
Guess what I'm picking.
Could you repeat the list of things again? Sorry.
Absolutely. No, you're totally fine. There are various bucklers and short spears. There appear to be coins just kind of scattered haphazardly around. There is a musket stacked up against the wall, a pair of spectacles, a circlet with a diadem in the middle, a large maul or like warhammer. The head of it appears to be made of almost red iron ore. It's got a funny color to it. There's a large glaive.
What's a glaive?
A glaive is like almost like a halberd. It's a tall wooden pole with a curved blade on top.
Matt's weapon.
It's sort of like an Ashendari, pretty close.
Oh.
Yeah. There's a small golden ring. There's a small, almost pearl-looking something. There's a folded cloak. There's a larger crystal globe. And there is a longsword stacked in the back.
Well, I beeline for the rifle, because that's what I do.
Okay. All right.
And I'm lifting it down carefully and being
It's got a little bag attached, and if you look in the bag, you can see that it's got 30 little prepackaged rounds.
okay. And I'm just looking at him, at Brekin, just like, you're sure about this? I can have this.
He kind of quirks he like smirks, and he's like, "It's fine. I can take you if I need to."
Why are you doing this for us?
Because you honored your agreement,
Of course, I'm a child of the light.
which is why you might want to look at the longsword. But if you don't, I should say, this is the price of your silence.
Ah, there's the catch.
It seems like you're living a quiet life in the middle of nowhere, not bothering anybody. I see no reason for that to change, especially not with this beauty. By my silence, it's fine.
He's waiting for the rest of you.
I'm going to take the circlet.
Okay.
With the diadem. What color is it?
It is silver.
Uh-huh. And what about the diadem?
Pick a color.
Blue, obviously.
Dude, I was going to say blue. Shut up.
Sure. It's blue.
Sapphire.
Has he evidently asked us to swear any oath to?
No, there has been no swearing of any oaths. No, nor asking.
Well, I'm positively disposed to the chap now anyway, after we had such a nice talk about how productive the local birch trees have been, and whether it's a good seed year, and if he's noticed any early flocks of grosbeaks or other waxwings or other birds flocking through the canopy. I'm going to choose the cloak because it seems so innocuous that there must be more to it than meets the eye.
Okay.
Which means I'm grabbing the spectacles.
Not the sword.
Not the sword. I can't. No, I can't.
It's heron marked. You know it is.
But there's
It
a
does-
reason I can't.
Okay.
Like, as much as I want to, you said longsword, which, nope.
Interesting.
Am I mistaken? Longswords are two-handed, right?
No, longswords should be one-handed, or they're versatile.
Oh, should we Google this?
I'm doing that right now.
Okay. And actually, a diadem, that is the circlet.
Is it?
My diadem has a jewel in the center, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just clarifying for people
Like
who are listening.
the.
Gotcha.
So is it like what Moraine is wearing on?
It's
Eye of the World?
closer. I picture it closer to what the childlike empress had in Neverending Story.
Story?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Moraine just has a stone on a chain. It's not set into a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's one-handed, so yeah, never mind. I am taking it.
Okay. Okay. So everybody picked something, right?
Yes.
Well, no, the eagle hasn't picked anything.
Or the eagle that didn't get sick on the roof, mind you.
A little packet of seeds.
You didn't take the spectacle. Okay. So he kind of closes the door and motions, "I am more than happy to escort you." The rain should have passed by now, but that was merely the front of the storm. you'll need to hurry to your destination.
Okay. I guess you're hoping you'll never see us again.
That would be an understatement.
Noted. Thanks again for the rifle.
I'm sure you will put it to good use.
Can't wait to try it out. 30 bullets, guys.
Awesome. Thank you for my beautiful diadem. And could you please just thank you so much for the muffins and for the hospitality. It really was lovely to meet you both.
Of course.
Thank you. We will keep your secret, or I will keep your secret.
We'll all keep the secret that we don't know. We don't know anything.
What secret?
That they exist.
The muffin recipe, is that the secret?
Okay. And unless anyone says anything else, he walks you to the edge of the clearing and then stands there as you walk through. And you walk through, and at some point, you kind of get a weird shiver, and you turn around, and all you see is a plain empty clearing, and the rain has stopped, and you're standing in the middle of the forest with your new stuff. And that's where we'll call it for tonight. So, you all want to know what you got?
Yes.
Yeah.
Lance, you're the easy one. You got a Power Rot +1 longsword.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Pimur got a musket. It weighs 10 pounds, if you need to know that. And it does 2d12 piercing damage when you shoot it.
Okay. Does it use different bullets than the pistol?
It does not, no.
Okay, we're using the same bullets for a comic.
Yep.
All right. Sweet.
Quercus picked up a Cloak of Protection.
Ooh.
It grants a +1 bonus to your AC and to all saving throws while you wear it.
Could have used that last night.
Yeah.
And Amena picked up the Circlet of Blasting.
What?
As long as it's not thunder waving.
While wearing this circlet, you can use an action to cast the Scorching Ray spell. When you make the spell attack, you do so with an attack bonus of +5. The circlet cannot be used again this way until the next dawn. So basically, you get a free spell once a day.
Get a free freaking fire.
Boom spell.
Like, that's an Archimedes death ray.
Wait, what was the...
And I don't have it.
So I'll pull up the actual, it's the spell Scorching Ray. Scorching Ray,
Okay.
You're going to use a +5. It's got a range of 120 feet, and you basically you create 3 rays of fire and hurl them at targets within range. You can hurl them all at one target or at several targets.
What?
You make a ranged spell attack for each ray. On a hit, the target takes 2d6 fire damage.
Damn, girl. You definitely picked up the better toy.
Oh, every one of those toys was a thing. Every one of them that I mentioned was a thing.
Yeah, I know, but like, death ray. It's okay, I have a gun. It's awesome.
I'm writing this down. That's why I'm... Okay.
Yeah, me too.
And I can tell you now, because you're not getting them again. The big crystal sphere was a drift globe, essentially a floating ball of light that would have followed you. You basically links to one person, floats with you, and creates massive amounts of light. The small bead was a pearl of power, which allows you to instantly once a day refresh a used spell slot.
That's broken as fuck.
It's only an uncommon item, but it's only once a day and it's only one spell slot. And if it's above a 4th level spell, it reverts to a 3rd level.
Oh, okay.
1st to 3rd level, it's that spell's power, but as you go up, it only reverts to 3rd level. The glaive was a normal glaive. The ring was a ring of warmth, which basically warms your whole body so it negates cold effects or bad weather effects. You're just kind of permanently always warm. The glasses were the eyes of an eagle. Essentially, you get advantage on every perception check you ever do when you're wearing them.
Wow.
And the maul is called a pyre maul. It does bludgeoning damage when you hit someone with it, but it's also forged with a special fire, so it would have done fire damage on top of regular damage.
Oh, dang.
Wow.
And then the musket, which is a fairly standard musket because you can't really +1, that kind of thing. And nobody picked up on the bucklers and short spears.
I was wondering about that. Like, I yield bucklers and short spears?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't use them.
She and he have had people come through before that maybe didn't get to leave because they got too pokey. So maybe they have been stashing their stuff for a
You're
long time.
welcome. You're welcome.
Oh, man. Yeah. That was like... Yeah, I'm glad we played by the rules for once.
Me too. That diadem is amazing.
I now have 2 guns, guys. This means I have 2 times to shoot in a combat situation.
And it means you got really long range on the one.
Yeah, what is the range on that?
Let me tell you.
In song.
Yeah, it has to be in song.
So your ranges for the musket are minimum range 40, maximum range 120.
Okay, cool. That's pretty cool. I'm excited. I have 2 guns. Ah!
Some of those require attunement, so you can't use them right away. You're basically going to have to spend time channeling into them and figuring them out. But you can do that on a long rest. So when you guys bed down for the night, if you're focused on your new toys, then it won't be a problem.
And that is where we close the book for now. Come join us next time on Just Roll With It.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Are you enjoying Just Roll With It? Do you want to keep up with all of the shenanigans and updates and maybe interact with us online? Follow us on Twitter at @just_roll or Instagram at @justrowlwithapodcast with underscores between each word. Are you interested in maybe earning cool gaming dice or other awesome perks? Our Patreon is patreon.com/JRWI. We use Sirenscape for all of our sound effects and are a production of Fox and Raven Media.
Oh, that was so mysterious. So much mystery.
I am so glad you failed that goddamn wisdom saving throw.
That would have been a complicated.
Yeah, your whole, the whole thing changes.
He's not a weak spellcaster, so it was not quite in the bag, but it was closer than I would have liked.
What would I have had to score?
The DC was 18. It was a very hard wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
He's a very powerful channeler, and it's the 5e spell modify memory. So he's able to cast it and modify, because you had just talked, at higher levels, he's basically able to erase something that happened a week ago. So a 10-minute conversation is nothing. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. So we got a crazy reveal and we got shiny new toys. This was a productive game session, guys.
That was awesome. Thank you.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
It was really good to get back into playing this. I've missed you guys.
I know.